good night, good morning. We're back with you. This is the Love Life Hotline. It's your real. No, no. Oh, wait. Sorry. Wait, this isn't that. I'm sorry. Wrong number, ladies and gentlemen. Wrong number. I was having a moment. I'm still playing with my microphone. It's such a lovely toy. Thanks to my lovely co-host. Oh, they're the hostess for the mostest. But before we go any further, let me introduce my co-host. As always, we have Andreen from Solely Tennis Travel.
Hello.
And all the way from foreign Ohio, it's Janina.
Hey.
And for once, I remembered myself. This is Realz. Oh my God. And I even got a pop filter and everything, I'm telling you.
Rock on.
So, ladies, for once I'm going to state the theme of the podcast, because usually we don't, and then we go all over the place, so...
Tell us the
this
theme,
week,
sir.
I think I have to, because it's going to be a slight departure, and for probably our regular listeners, you're going to be upset. We are a feminist podcast. Yes, we are a feminist podcast. However, we are very fair, okay? We try to be fair and judicious, and we give Jack the jacket, and, we try to be on point always. But anyway, so this week, unfortunately, ladies, the men, the men were on top, okay? For once, the men ruled and women drooled. Just this week. Okay, I know, I didn't forget the Australian Open. I didn't forget the Fed Cup, drama. But, I just gotta say, the men really pulled out the stops this week. I mean, whether they were in Marseilles, whether they were in Rio, or even in Delray Beach. I mean, even Delray Beach had some action going on.
Stop yourself.
Anyway.
Don't even include Delray Beach in there.
Look.
Hey.
Look, you see, okay.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, let's start it.
I'm gonna let you keep going with your theme. I won't mess you up.
You know what? Let's see with the ladies, okay? First of all, you just gotta say, ladies didn't show up. Whether they weren't there physically, and most of the time they weren't there in spirit. Okay, let me just say, ladies, I'm telling you, the best action was happening in Rio at an international, where Francesca Schiavone revived her career. I mean, yes. Franny pulled out the defibrillator.
Let's be honest, though. Don't even try to get excited, Janina. Weren't you just telling Franny to take a seat?
Well, here's the thing. I have to be honest. I was only semi-aware of her this week because there wasn't much of it on TV. So, as I'm checking live scores, and I'm like, holy shit, Franny's in a final. And I see that she's like playing nobody. Sorry, American tennis.
Shelby had a chance.
Hold up. I gotta give you a guy right here. Okay, good. Shelby Rogers is somebody, okay?
I have no idea who she is. I don't know who she is.
I'm sure she's 10th in the Fed Cup. She's a 10th ranked American, okay?
And wasn't she a wild card in this tournament? Did I see that? I don't know, but regardless, I thought, okay, Franny, this title is yours. And you're probably going to fuck it up. So, yeah, I was really excited because I honestly didn't expect her to win. I didn't. Even though I had no idea who she was playing or anything about this girl's game. I know nothing about this Shelby Rogers. Nothing.
Oh, I think the one thing I know about Shelby Rogers is that she beat Jeannie Bouchard when Jeannie Bouchard when Jeannie Bouchard was on the height of her fame. That was after she had gotten to the Wimbledon final, and they were hoping that she would make everything happen in Canada. And Shelby Rogers showed up. I was like, "Thanks, Jeannie," and beat her, and it was over in the first. Right. I think it was the first round.
Yeah.
Look, Franny pulled out the defibrillator for that career, okay? That career was headed.
I was waiting all day for it to come on TV, and it never happened. And I'm like, why am I stuck?
Oh, yeah, that match didn't come on any of the channels.
No. And I'm like, I have to watch Sam Querrey and...
You know what?
Rajeev Ram.
We'll get there later. But that was a major fail on the programming.
Yeah, I don't understand why that happened. But
it was all American, I guess. I don't know.
I guess so.
But whatever. Anyways, yay for Franny.
And meanwhile, I mean, last year, you know who was vulturing this tournament? Sara Errani. And this year, Franny, Sara got an upgrade. I mean, like an upgrade in a very big way. She
must have been listening to Beyonce.
In two ways, she was just like, you must not know about me. You must, because Sara pulled herself out of the clutches of obscurity on the women's tour. You know, after that tweet when she said, Maria, you know, you keep fucking up all the draws, and she should be happy because Maria pulled out and everybody else pulled out, and who didn't? In fact, did you know Alize Kane got a wild card to go in the qualies, and she was like, I'm not even coming. No, fuck this shit.
Seriously?
I ain't showing up in Dubai. No, she got confused. She got confused because she thought Dubai was a Premier 5 event. But it's not this year. No. When she got to the finals in 2014, it was a Premier 5 event. But
I can't even keep up with how they do that shit. Do you know what? Just pick the tournaments. You don't need to change it up every year. I can't keep up. Really. Why? What is the point of that? What is the point? Why is it a Premier event one year and not the next?
Well, it's not a Premier 5 event. You see, there's a kind of difference, you know.
You know what?
I don't know. It's kind of confusing, but I think it's because
somebody sent us out that. Somebody sent us a nice color-coded thing that I used to have on my phone, but I need a new version of it. So anyone who has that, please tweet that to me, so I can keep track.
Fuck that. WTA, you need to get your ship on with the men, okay? The men are ruling this week, okay? You need to put that fucking number. WTA 200, 250, 400, 375, whatever the fuck with the point.
I can't deal with Premier.
Get that shit up there, okay? ATP is making it simple. It's an ATP 250, it's a 500, it's a 1000, it's a major, and anything less than that, if you don't have a number, you're a fucking challenger, you're a satellite, or you're a future. Simple, okay? People know where they are, okay?
Get with the program, WTA.
People don't get confused that Ben Wise at a 250 when we all know he's at a fucking challenger event, okay? You don't get confused with that shit. So WTA, that was my rant for the week. Get your shit together. Put some fucking numbers. Make it easier for the fans.
Okay. Good recommendation to the WTA Insider.
Yes.
No, I mean, I think it's really nice. If we can make that simpler, I think it's always helpful.
Yeah.
So that no one some Italians win some titles.
No, why are the Italians doing well? But you know what?
Because they're the only ones playing.
No, but you know what? I'm about to answer my own question. It's one of the interesting things because you know we've been talking about how the women's tour is kind of changing it up, right? But what's interesting is that you have like a couple tiers on the tour. So you've got like you've got a situation where if the top dog, which really is just Serena, doesn't show up, right? If Serena doesn't show up, you've got these youngins on that second tier who are eager to grab some stuff, but they're still not 100% consistent. So if they go by the wayside, then what you want is and they're a little bit better than journey women, but just your solid, consistent player. And I have to say, I think that's why the Italian women, because they've always had a pretty nice group of players, right? They do well, they beat who they should, and sometimes occasionally they'll get an upset about who they shouldn't. So if you've got this young tier that's not quite ready for showtime and you don't have like a Serena, then there's no reason why this wonderful group of consistent, strong players won't emerge with the title. That's the theme I'm going to go with this year for the Italians.
And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, fans, it includes Roberta Vinci. I know y'all hate that.
No, you know what? Let me tell you something. Roberta is a fun. I mean, I know people have a lot of weird feelings about her, but Roberta is actually a really fun player to watch live. Not every tennis player is it's fun. You know, some people look great on TV, but when you see some players live, they're actually even better than others on TV. But Roberta is one of those that's actually fun live, because
Sarah Ronnie not so much.
Yeah, Sarah Ronnie, not so much. Although
I would attest to that.
No, if you spend your time watching her feet, it can be, because she does move really well. But yeah, like generally she'll generate the same damn shot every time. But yeah, Vinci's actually really fun to watch live, because when you're watching live tennis, you do want to see a little bit of a change up.
Yeah,
and according to Janina, Roberta, Vinci's, it's fun to watch live outside of tennis. Fucking up some chicken wings.
Yeah. She always chooses such interesting food, and I think that's what you're putting in your body? All right.
Listen, but Vinci gives us all hope that you don't have to have abs.
Well, I mean, honestly, wait a minute. Now that you're saying this, I just realized that we have 3 Italian winners, titleists.
Yeah. They're solid. They are solid. So they're like the David Ferrer. See, this is the thing. I mean, I feel badly for them, right? Because on the women's tour, every now and then someone might falter, and a David Ferrer type will go on and win a slam, right? But on the men's side, a lot needs to go wrong for Ferrer. That's the way that works.
And like lately, nothing even really has to go wrong. He just doesn't win.
So yes, the women's side, definitely. All the Italian women took all the titles. So
congratulations to Italy. Well done.
Yes, and I mean, I have to say, while we're on this subject, I mean, these girls below Serena. I mean, like the Pliškovas, the Pliskova, I don't know if it's in Pliskova. I'm talking about Carolina, the one who's in, not the Christina, who is
Coplis. Just go Coplis instead of Crypiss.
I mean, then you have Halep. I mean,
Halep.
Ivanovic. I really thought you could give yourself a wedding gift or something.
A wedding gift. Oh Jesus! Don't start rumors.
I mean, these girls just. Isn't she engaged to the guy? I'm not making that up.
No, let's not even deal with that.
I don't know.
Okay, all right. All right. Crickets again.
Crickets for anything that's uninteresting about that. Let's move on.
But I'm just simply saying, that I mean, a lot of these girls, I mean, in the top 8, I mean, they had to fly some people in. Simona got a wild card to show up, and she didn't even do anything. I mean, they were just there for their parents' fee.
I'm just letting you know that referring to them as girls is like not the most feminist thing you can do. I'm just letting you know.
The women who showed up in Dubai, sorry.
Yeah.
I am going to say that Dubai needs to ask back for a refund, at least 50% of the currency, because y'all didn't do anything. Nobody won a match. None of these girls won a match. The top 8 seed, from 5 to 8, lost in the first round. And 1 to 4 lost in the second round, and that's only because they got buys into the second round.
You know what it is too, but you know what they did say. You know what they did say though is that the speed of Dubai's court is actually very different than what they've been encountering for the last couple weeks. So it's faster than Australia, and then it's even, I guess, faster than some of the indoors that some people were playing. So that might explain one of the reasons why you have some of the odd things that you saw.
Yeah, it's God forbid we get a fast court somewhere.
And I would also say that these women were also playing. I think all 8 of them were playing Fed Cup somewhere, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and remember, these were also top women who we knew were nursing sort of weird injuries, like itchy form. So, I mean, I have to say I don't really believe that some of the top ladies are going to light a fire until I'd say Indian Wells, Miami time. Like, I'm still expecting people to still be trying to recover. That's my expectation. But maybe, I think somebody who knows the WTA quite well suggested that they may just be showing up for the appearance fees.
I think so too. But you know what? Carolina Garcia, you could step in and take Doha, okay, girl? I mean, because...
please. Carolina couldn't take the match from poor Barbara.
And Barbara, I don't even know what's that. You let Sarah around only give you 2 games? Only 2 games.
I have to admit, I was surprised by that. I would have thought that Barbara, with her sort of interesting kind of stylistic game could have done something with Sara. But how was she so easily outplayed by Sara? I didn't get a chance. I watched like maybe a couple games, but I think it was on at a very odd time. Did anyone watch it fully?
I didn't watch it.
No,
I didn't watch 1 point. No.
I saw a little bit of it. It just seemed like she was out of she didn't have as she seemed to have just been run ragged, and she couldn't I mean, I guess at the same time, Barbara is not someone that overpowers. So she, and I guess if you're going to get into like a backhand, if you're going to get in like a baseline
she wasn't getting
rally,
either.
Yeah, if you're going to go baseline rallies, then Sara is always going to eat you up. But yeah, like she just couldn't seem to get anything right. Nothing was really working for her. It was one of those really off days because I was really stunned by it. I mean, I think people were like clapping when she got on the board. That's how desperate things were.
I mean, when you see a scoreline like that and it's a final, it just is kind of depressing and sad. And
unless it's Roger Federer.
No, it's not okay because finals need to be competitive. They really do. But I mean,
I kid.
It might be a little bit shady for me to say, but when I did see the scoreline and I'm like, Sara Ronnie's handing out bagels.
Exactly.
What?
I mean,
like, what?
Exactly.
Protect your life, right?
Yeah, like that's just silly. It's just silly.
Please don't say Sara around the sharing out bagels because I have awful memories of 2014 U.S. Open. Please. Let me keep my sanity.
I just don't like her. I just don't like Sara Ronnie. I don't
Let's
like
talk
her.
about that, please. Let's talk about that.
Listen, Janina, I can't indulge your not liking Sara. Why don't you like Sara? Explain it to us. She seems perfectly serviceable and nice.
Whatever. She does not seem nice.
Actually, I do not think
she's not nice. No, she's not a nice. I have seen her interact.
But I don't care for nice. She seems good.
No, she's not nice. She's a fucking bitch. I've seen it firsthand. Are you kidding me? No, I have seen her treat fans like shit. I have seen her treat her teammates like shit. I have witnessed Roberta Vinci apologizing to people for her. No shit. Wow. She's a bitch. And this is the thing. Last year in Cincinnati, her and Flavia Pennetta were playing doubles, and I just felt like Irani was some kind of weird robot type thing. It was like Pennetta was just yelling at her all the time, and of course they're speaking Italian, but all I got was Irani, like over and over, like I don't know, like she was this child, and then Sarah's looking at her, just like shaking her head, like yes ma'am. It just was so weird. And, something that's purely just mean, I can't stand her fucking cankles.
Okay, all right. Okay, we're going to move on.
You're getting all personal now, okay.
I'm cutting you off, Janina.
I'm cutting you off. No, sorry, that's the wrong one.
Rant over. So, okay, the ladies were missing in action, but the Italians delivered, and we're happy for it. So let's now move on to the men. And why did the men deliver this week, Realz?
Did I miss? Oh, yes, I didn't miss anything, yes. Let's check on this Rio men finals. What's going on?
I'm watching. Still going. They're tied 4-all.
Okay.
And 4-all, 30-all, actually. So anybody who's match fixing, that's gonna be hard for you to do because this is paper. Right?
Well, it's in school betting. I mean, live school betting, so you don't know how they have it, right? If we're talking about match fixing, if we're gonna talk about match fixing,
not now. Later.
No, I just want to say, I swear to God, I am not no tea, no shade. I think Grigor Dimitrov should be investigated.
Wait, for just poor effort, right? Just poor effort.
That match against Rajeev Ram. I mean, look. I think I told you ladies already. When we're talking in the annals of one-handed backhand, Rajeev Ram is not even in the footnotes. Okay, nobody don't even say of the rarity of a man to have a one-handed backhand. Rajeev Ram has a one-handed backhand. We don't even talk about shit like that. I mean, we even know who Rajeev Ram is. I mean, but Rajeev Ram was
it because of the wind? Was it because of the wind? Apparently, it was very windy.
It was windy, but whatever. It was windy for everyone.
I mean, it was just coconuts in Dimi's head. I mean, not even shame and pride. I mean, do you know that?
What was technically wrong? Tell me what went wrong for Dimi.
Grigor did not have a break point. None.
You know what's so funny? That's impossible because maybe Ram had to have brought his A game because I decided to watch Ram versus the Sam match today, and I started and like I couldn't. I was like, I don't know what kind of tennis this is. I don't know if this is like 18 and under tennis. It was so basic. I could not take it seriously. And I was looking at it like every point ended on an error, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this. I watched the first 4 games. I was like, how did this guy get to the final? How did he beat Grigor?
You know what?
Honest to God, basic was the word I came to mind when I was watching Grigor and Rajeev. Seriously, if this goal line from Roger Federer and Grigor, okay, respectable. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, Grigor was trying, maybe he was over pressing, whatever the case may be. No, that wasn't even the shit. Grigor was just making some, I don't know when I say some stupid errors. I mean, he was purposely making these errors because there's no way I'm gonna walk off a court. I was in this day, man. Oh, Rajeev Ram beat me in straight set.
You know what though? I actually really thought I looked at the draw and I thought, wow, this is like a really nice little thing for Grigor to vulture. I was like, oh, vulture this. This is like a nice little. This is like on par with our favorite young lady Sloane vulturing City Open. I was like, you know what? Get through it. This is perfect. Get a title under your belt. Everything good. I come home and I was like, what? Rajeev, yeah. And then when you see Sam Querrey took care of him, I was like, okay, honey, I don't know what to do. But I will say, I will give props to Sam Querrey for doing what everyone seemed unable to do, which was to actually give Delpo a match.
Stop right there. Because I watched that match. Stop right there. Sam Querrey only won that match because in the big key moments, Delpo forgot how to tennis. That was what it was.
How to tennis? Oh,
I'm telling you what it was because I'm telling you the only thing if Delpo probably had been on tour for like 3 more weeks beforehand, it would have been a done deal.
He would have been in the final.
Sam Querrey was only broke. He broke him in the 11th game, I think, of each set, and only because Delpo was making errors, errors that he wasn't making earlier in the set. So it wasn't Sam Querrey mixing things up and did something different in the crucial part of the game. No, it wasn't that. Delpo probably is kicking himself. If he had lost it in 2 tiebreakers, I'd be like, yeah, Sam is a bigger serve. Well, Sam not even a bigger serve because Delpo was serving bigger than Sam.
Can I make a confession?
Yeah.
I watched Delpo's first match, and then I thought, listen, I love Delpo.
We know you do. You love your Beast Boy.
I love Delpo a long time. But at the same time, I'm kind of a bitch. So I'm like, you can't just come up on tour with no backhand and be winning matches in straight sets. That don't be looking right for me. So I was really conflicted. Like there's a part of me that wanted to go.
Conflicted, confused, and concerned.
Yes, I wanted to go with the story. I wanted to go with the wonderful story of Delpo getting through the draw and going to the final. But there was a little part of me that was like, no, boo, you cannot get through this draw straight sets with no backhand. I can't deal with it. I was watching matches and I was just like, I think the fact that they always tried to get to his backhand was just confusing people. I think it took them out of their own games because they were just like, how do I get this to his backhand? Instead of really playing to their own strengths, I guess, it just was so weird to watch those matches.
It was like, so Delpo is slicing on a backhand over here. Motherfucker, step in and take the ball on the fucking right. Hit it. Hit the ball. No.
He was scared.
You're going to slice again.
Delpo? Definitely.
Yeah.
He was definitely nervous.
Scared. And I watched 2 of his matches, I think. And it felt like he got into it a little bit more each time, and as the matches progressed, he tried that backhand a little bit more. But Oh man, whew, that was rough.
He was surprised he got so far. Actually, he was surprised that they let me win.
If you know you're getting a slice, you know you're getting a Delpo slice.
I wanted him to go for it and miss it, but not go for it. He really played some scared tennis when it came to that backhand, which I suppose is understandable. You know, I'm sure he's just coming back. He's afraid of re-injuring. You know, we've heard it over and over and over again. There's no substitution for match play. So you don't really know how you're going to be until you get out there and you do it. So I can appreciate all that. I'm not quite ready to throw it under the bus yet. You know, he needs some time.
Oh,
yeah, he needs to get some matches under his belt.
Wait. Selective memory, Janina, because you were saying around
Janina
the time,
was throwing a lot.
Couple months in the middle, like, he needs to retire that shit. He ain't coming back.
Oh my god! Okay, wait a minute. Wait. I think we have to We have to rename this episode "Throwing Janina's shit back in her face."
No
doubt.
It's called Janina. We got the receipts. It's time to change.
I got it all wrong.
No, I get it though. Because you know what? That's the truth of it, right? That's why we love tennis, is that Franny could turn around and win a title after we thought she was done, just like Aga Radwanska at the end of the year. And it's the same thing with Delpo. You know, if he plays his cards right, and he can like get to Washington D.C. while everyone's prepping for the Olympics. Who knows? You know?
Right. Yeah.
But he clearly wants it though, which I find surprising. But he's young. I mean, people forget he was 19 when he won the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
And so he's experienced the big time at an early age, and he doesn't want to give up. But I have to say this though, I've seen him. I didn't see his first match. I saw all the other matches. He is as fit as a fiddle.
Yeah,
Motherfucker is running around that backhand and he's moving well, even better than previous years.
Yeah, he looks good. And the serve is good.
Yes, and that full hand is definitely singing.
Oh yeah, the man mountain is definitely.
I remember on one. I mean, I'm not one to say, oh, it was 4-all 30, blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't do that. But there was this point where he hit this screaming forehand, and I was like, whoa, that is the Delpo that everybody loved and, you know, was waiting for. I'm not a huge fan of him. I'm not a fan. I just never fell in love with him like you did, Andreen. Yeah. You know? Yeah.
I fall in love with very few. So when I do, it's important.
You need to get your man to shave that back.
Oh, he's so hairy.
Oh, that's why. Stop it, hairy beast. Leave them.
Hey, you know what? I'll take the hairy beast any day over what I saw today, which was a Rajeev Ram shirt change. It was scary. Scary.
Oh my God, we've totally got off rails. We got off the rails.
Hey, today for me, the tennis was all about not tennis, because I mean everything I'm remembering from all week really wasn't the tennis. Like, oh my God, I'm taking it there. Okay, listen. So during the trophy presentation today of Querrey and Ram, it was so hard to watch. That was really, really hard to watch. Sam Querrey is hard to look at. We don't need to go into details why. He just is. And then
He's
there's
the Grinch who stole Christmas. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. And then Rajeev took his hat off. And lo and behold, he's bald. He's like half bald, but he totally was like trying to do this comb over thing with his hands. But he was so hyper. Yes, he was so hyper aware of it. Like one time moving your hand over, you know, like okay, fine, but it was like every 3 to 5 seconds he's pushing that hair over the bald spot, and I'm like, dude, you gotta stop because you're just drawing attention to it. And then he opened his mouth to speak. Forgive me. Because I am a longtime tennis fan, I was expecting an accent. And he's talking about. He's talking about.
Oh no! Cuevas won. Oh, congratulations! I'm interrupting you to say congratulations, Cuevas.
Yay for Cuevas! Over Janina. Rajeev Ram went to the University of Illinois, okay?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
He's fully American.
Hey, well,
fully American.
God, you know what?
I know.
We're gonna have to edit that out, Janina. Oh my God. God. I don't even know who you are right now, but I'm just letting you know. Forgive you.
I just gotta let you know. Maybe I'm gonna say maybe you're getting lost because you don't really see him around. He's usually in the double circuit.
But you know what it is? You gotta watch Newport, okay? If you watch Newport,
exactly. He's
the
defending Hall of Fame Classic champion.
I know you don't watch it because it's right after Wimbledon, and who has time? But
tennis hangover time.
Yes, it's tennis. Oh, poor Peja. Oh,
is he crying?
Upset. He's got his towel over his head. Poor deal. This is how it works, though. If you beat Rafa, you get the title. Because basically, that's what the clay
means.
Unless you're at the French Open.
Oh, well, that's just because...
Beating Rafa just fucks you over.
That's just the gods don't like...
Are you ready to talk about Rafa?
The gods didn't like that. Yes, let's talk about Rafa, because I think that's the most noteworthy storyline, really, of this week. I mean, let's just be honest. We can fuss around everything. We can fuss around the people under that are 20 and over.
Mm-hmm.
But what?
Rafa.
Oh, so...
Rafa.
Okay, the good. Okay, people, before the haters come out,
I don't even attend to haters. Let's just move forward.
That I really like Rafa's kit.
I do.
I like the color combination.
No, bullshit.
Hold up.
No.
Wait.
The shorts are nice.
Wait. Hold up a minute. Okay, let me just let you know. I'm not a big fan of tennis players' chests. They look rather weak and thin. If I'm looking for some treasure chests, I would check out swimmers and like those in taekwondo and martial artists. But tennis players has rather weak chest frame. Only Sanga got that going on, and I'm like, that nice, that nice bust. But I have to say, Rafa is wearing some really that yellow and white and blue. It looks really cute on him. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I do like it. I mean, in fact, that Nike, this is the best thing Nike has produced for a very long time. Nike is putting some shit. So I have to say, Rafa looks good, sweaty or dry in that kit, and that pum pum shorts is riding all the way up, and that's some nice legs. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen them in person. I've been told by his biggest fan that they look smaller. I don't know what they would look like if they were bigger, but I'm just saying. Rafa, especially, again, what's funny, one leg rides up more than the other. So it has this sort of like, I don't know, this kind of like, I could see why people want to drool over Rafa. I'm not drooling over him. I'm just saying
I can't tell.
I'm just saying. So that's my good.
Well, that's
the good. I have a good.
Mm-hmm.
He still takes a long time in a match. It still takes a long time to take him down. He's not losing in 2 hours. He's certainly losing him over 2+ hours, so that's still good.
Yeah, he's fighting.
But that's not because tennis is actually being played in much tennis start playing in that time.
That's because he's, doing his rituals in between points.
He gotta change the damper, he gotta do all kind of things. So, all the tends to happen to him.
But what do we notice? You know what it is? Let me say. What did you notice? Please all tell me.
Rafa needs something. I don't know what it is. I feel like he needs some perspective from his team. Something. He is playing shit struggle tennis. And he should not be struggling against the people that he's struggling against. And, it's like, what's going on here? Like, seriously, what is going on?
I'll give you one hint. Other people are better movers. I have to say, the people listen. I mean, Cuevas was moving so much better on the clay than Rafa, and so was Thiem. Like, people always used to say the best thing you can do is watch Rafa move on clay. I have not seen that sort of like easy movement on clay. Everything feels like it's a touch slow.
Exactly.
And a touch out of position. That's the first thing I noticed because I don't spend a lot of time watching Rafa. Let's just be honest. But
and he's not reading the points well.
Yeah. And also just because, you know what, the funny thing is he would go to his, he loves his go-to shot, right? His go-to shot, especially when he's playing a one-hander, get that person off the court. And now it's like all of the ways that he used to control points has come back to bite him in the ass. Because everyone is they know his pattern so well that they're quick to get right back into position, anticipating exactly where he's going to hit the ball. And then he's the one that's struggling to get back into position.
And he's not hitting with nearly as much power as he used to. Not nearly as much.
And the other thing I've noticed is that he's hitting the ball expecting it to go one way, and it's going the other way. It's like, why
he is playing messy tennis right now.
He looks lost.
And, I mean, I don't remember who it was that tweeted out the stat, but he's 0-4 this year against top 50 players. This is Rafael Nadal.
Yeah.
No. Is he on? Oh, yes. Who did
yes.
He's
lost to Novak. He lost to Verdasco. He's lost to Tim.
Oh, yes. He played Doha.
And Cuevas this week. I mean, come on. 145, 19, and 45. Somebody must have moved and whatever, taken over spots. But, yeah, I mean, the only one really there that you would expect him to lose to is Novak.
Now, see, you guys have to explain something to me because the thing about Rafa for me is that Rafa has always been, I've said this in many other places, maybe not here, but I've always found Rafa's tennis to be quite magical. In the sense that when I could never tell why he's doing well or why he's not doing well. Because usually when he's really, really, really injured, he plays really, really great tennis.
Extremely
supposedly.
Injured. Maria.
Yeah, when he's Maria Sharapova extremely injured, he plays great tennis. And now he is not injured, and he's not doing well. I mean, the real difference for me is that, because I've always thought that I've seen Rafa play struggle tennis before. I thought Rafa played struggle tennis in 2009. Not the French Open, but actually post-French Open all the way until the very end of the year until he played that final against Del Potro at the Davis Cup. He played struggle tennis throughout. And I've seen him
for much of 2009.
Yeah, and I've seen him have patches of just very, very bad play. And I've also seen him play fairly bad tennis and just get through it. So in my mind, I feel like what's different is, in some sense, the regard other players have for him.
I was about to
is that they're willing to go for their shot.
They're jumping on it. They're like, Rafa's playing shit. I'm gonna get it.
Well, I think there might be something that they might be able to tell us better than we can from our observation deck, right? But I get the sense, particularly watching the Cuevas match, was that Cuevas knew that he should never give up. Because typically there is a point within a Nadal match where you'd be like, the scrub is leading. Because he struggled against people like Klizan, and they've had the upper hand. And then the scrub is going to be like, oh, fuck, I'm playing Rafa. And then all of a sudden, when they have to serve out the match or something, they're going to fuck up. Especially when they don't have a big serve a la Rosal. And, and they have to win every point. That Rafa is going to be, I'm going to make you win every point.
Yeah.
And they then start to wither away, and then all of a sudden Rafa is rising. And Rafa typically thinks he can do that still, and he did try against Cuevas' match. But Cuevas was just like, no, I am winning this match. And I think, and the thing I know is that Cuevas believed he could win this match.
Cuevas was the more confident player out on court.
Exactly.
Not just confident, he was the better player. He was the
player.
He was the better player.
The better tennis.
But like Realz just said, there's often been this time where you can see the lower ranked player, especially if it's a lower ranked player, where there's like this switch that goes on and they're like, oh shit, I'm beating Rafa, and that's enough. When they think about that, that's enough to make them falter, and then he can come storming back. And it isn't even necessarily that he has to do so much to come storming back. It's just that the other person falters because you can see them realize the moment, and that's not happening so much anymore. Yeah. Well, it's not happening because he hasn't been consistent in quite some time.
Well, and the other thing to me is that, because everybody's always really given a lot of credit to Rafa's mental strength, but for me, Rafa's mental strength has always been intimately tied to his physical strength. Because I always believe that Rafa thought that he could just last longer. Because Rafa, even at the height of Rafa's powers, he took a long time in matches. He was never one, you know what I mean? Like, you could still get through like a 6-1, 6-1, and it felt like Rafa took forever to get to the point. So
he did.
You know what I mean? And I don't even mean the little things that he does. He just always took forever
long
on
points,
grinding points. And so I always felt like his mental fortitude was built around his self-belief in his physicality. And so for me, maybe what's really the core of his struggle is that he lacks belief, not in himself, but in his ability to physically get himself in the positions that he needs to get himself in on court. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like the times you watch Fedal, it was him putting himself in impossible positions and then forcing Federer to hit from impossible places with that one-handed backhand. Now it doesn't seem as if he thinks that he can get himself out in those positions and come out on the winning side, and so suddenly he seems fragile. But I don't know if he's like lost his mentality in that sense. I just think his mentality was always built on his physicality.
Well, I mean, I would also add to that. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but I would add to that. I don't know if he needs a coach or if he will ever get a new coach, but maybe. But the point is that but I would say that Rafa needs to, because everyone playing Rafa is going to be thinking, because it isn't so much the Cuevas match that really surprised me per se. It was the Dominic Thiem, because Dominic Thiem is a young, inexperienced player. And Cuevas had played him tough in previous encounters. So Cuevas Rafa knows Rafa game pretty well. But Rafa couldn't handle that inexperienced Dominic Thiem, and Dominic Thiem was coasting over that. The confidence Dominic Thiem was exuding on the court versus Rafa was really surprising.
Well, and Dominic Thiem was like, why not? Dominic Thiem was like, listen, I've beaten the Roland Garros champ, Stan. Why can't I hang with this guy? Let me see what I can do. And the wonderful thing was Dominic Thiem was perfectly fine doing moonballs. I mean, he did not give Rafa comfortable shots to hit at all. Like, that was what was interesting, was like there was a little bit of Rafa medicine. Was like these balls were flying so high to Rafa, and then he was forced to go all the way back. And I was just
like, and his first serve was not present against Cuevas.
Because Rafa never.
And the crazy thing that Rafa doesn't know how to shorten points. So when he was getting into these rallies, Cuevas would just like, go ahead. And Cuevas backhand again, another one of these one-handed backhand players who don't even get in the footnotes of one-handed backhand players. Cuevas was hitting some amazing shots. Not even just clear winners, but setting up the next shot with his one-handed backhand.
He played some really smart tennis.
Because he was moving so well. That's the thing.
He was moving better than Rafa.
So well. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe at the core of what we're seeing is that Rafa's movement is compromised now. Maybe there was something to the knee thing.
He's just getting older.
And he's cautious, and it is really ironic though that the person who's known as kind of the strongest mentally is now sort of being perceived as kind of vulnerable mentally. It's kind of like when Spock starts crying. It's just that he's overwhelmed or something. It's kind of strange.
Or maybe this is like related here with like physical effect on Michael Chang, when you're known for your physicality. The minute you lose 1 ounce, 1 iota of speed, like you lose a bit of it, then
you gotta make it up somewhere.
And you don't change something, right? Like, your game is built on your physical prowess. This is Jelena Jankovic is another example who's suffering from this. Is that your game was built on your fitness, Wozniacki. And the minute that everyone else has become fitter than you or can move better than you, then all of your weaknesses being exposed. They get exposed for filth on the court. And this is kind of like what I thought too.
What do you think of it? What do you think? What do you guys think?
I mean, this is not a progression of the sport.
Well, I'm not. I've watched Rafa plenty over the years. He's not someone that I'm like, oh, I'm not watching it. It's Rafa. I do that with Novak, not Rafa. But I don't know his game that well. I just don't. So I asked a Rafa fan, what do you see? All jokes aside, what do you see? And the response was basically, this is the beginning of the end. And that's what I see, but I don't watch him as closely to know, I mean, some people know every little nuance of his game. I don't. So I wanted to talk to somebody who does, and that was the response that I got, because that's what I feel like I'm watching. I just feel like I'm watching a player naturally decline a little bit because, like you said, sometimes that half step slower makes all the difference in the world. I mean, we've seen it with Federer time and time again. So that's my gut reaction, was like, well, we don't expect it so much. We don't expect him to lose to players that are ranked so much lower than him. But especially in the case of, Dominic Thiem, he's a young and up-and-comer. And again, this is what it's supposed to look like. This is what's supposed to happen. So I was, I think, more surprised by the loss to Cuevas than last week, for sure. I didn't expect to see Rafa go out like that 2 weeks in a row. I didn't expect that at all.
And these are his stomping ground, basically. In 2013, he cleaned up here. Even last year, he won won Argentina, and he couldn't collect that 750 points, like that he really needed to boost his career. And then who gets Cuevas has 5.
And to not even make it to the final?
Yeah. Of clay.
That's the thing. That's the key of clay. It's
well,
odd.
maybe he'll do better on hard.
Maybe.
No.
Well, 2013 he was miraculous on hard. So
Well, that was 3 years ago.
And Pablo Cuevas is now 28.
In 2015. And now 2015, at the end of 2015, he did fine in hardcore indoors. So, I mean, maybe he's flipping the script.
I guess we'll see. Time will tell. I mean, really, it's only February, right?
Yeah, you got time. Indian Wells is... Rafa
it's
isn't
slow.
there.
It's slow as shit
Roger
there.
isn't there, so he gets to be the 4th seed. So that's
there's no sense that Rafa's not. There's no one's made an announcement that Roger's not there.
But Indian Wells?
Yeah, he's still in the draw.
He's gonna play. Okay.
Well, that's when he anticipates coming back. That's like a full month. That's like a full 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now. So I don't know, but he traditionally does do well in India Wells.
Yeah.
So, just avoid Novak in the quarterfinals, because if you show up playing Novak, you'll be double bagel. You will be double bagel.
But you know what? Screw Novak. It's really the question of everyone wants a piece of Rafa now. It's now time for everyone to get their Rafa win.
Right.
That's how the tour works. That's how the tour works. Ooh, I gotta get my
Meanwhile, guess who got their big W this week? Benoit Paire got his big W against his BFF Stanley Wawrinka.
That was good for him.
Let's talk about Marseilles.
I didn't watch it.
I watched a couple.
I didn't watch that match.
But
Dan was lucky to get through stacks, no? So
that is true.
Sounds like
well, he shows up every few months and plays a really good match and gives a top player trouble. That's not so surprisingly.
Well, funny enough, when Valerie Tennis Inside Out was here, she put forward this rather interesting theory, which seemed very plausible at the time, that Stanley does bad 1 week and rise. He goes through these ebbs and flows, these valleys and these peaks, and I think he believed this himself as well.
Yeah.
Because he thought that he was gonna show up in Marseille and win. Because did he play Rotterdam? Because he won Rotterdam last year. I'm almost sure.
Yeah, but he didn't do Rotterdam this year.
He didn't do Rotterdam this year, so he lost all that 500 points, I think it was.
But he's in Dubai this week, so maybe he'll do well there.
And homeboy just totally made a mess of those 2 matches he played. And Benoit Paire was just like, thank you very much. I will get my W today, and what I have to say, I have to give it up to the scrubs. The scrubs are stepping up.
They're really performing. Up. It's always a good idea to leave Novak Djokovic out of the matches. Then people feel like there's all sorts of opportunities. No, this is the week. Everybody's like, listen, let's grab some titles, let's grab some points. I don't have
money. Match fixing. Everybody's looking at everybody's bank account. You gotta justify every single penny you got in that bank account. I'm telling you.
And listen, if y'all need to hide any money, send it to me.
Well, I mean, I saw the Benoit pair match, and you know, it was I mean, Stan was a mess in the first set, and then he really cleaned himself up and was starting to really go for his shots and serving better in the second. And I actually thought he was going to I thought he was going to ride to glory in that match. But Benoit decided to have a little bit of interest in it. Like, it actually felt very competitive, which was unlike the final in Tokyo last year, which was the first time I saw them play each other.
But I was just like, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, he seemed very happy, but he really seemed very dialed in and very engaged in his match. And I was like, oh, okay, let's see whether you have the game to take it to Stan. And that's when I realized, because I guess I don't really pay that much attention to Benoit pair, he doesn't have a forehand, huh?
Ken Ishikori, you mind giving us an explanation as to why you lost to Benoit pair twice? Please have it in writing, not in Japanese, okay? In fact, give me diagrams. I did watch a U.S. Open loss. I need diagrams.
No, every time I really, for the first time, I seriously was dialing in on this match, and I was like, Benoit pair does not have a forehand. What is this thing that drops right in the center of the box?
And he has all this extra movement for nothing.
Yes, it's a weird hitchy forehand as well. I don't know what the heck it is. It's like some weird wind up, and then it comes out, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were trying to hit the ball. I thought you were just trying to like...
I mean, if I much rather watch Gomez.
It was really...
I mean, Gomez seemed to have a better technique than you, Benoit.
Oh, jazz hand.
No, it was just like, but you know what? His backhand sung. And so he can hit it from any bad position on the court, which is great. But that forehand, I was like, just keep feeding that ball to his forehand if you can.
Oh man, I wish I would have seen that.
You really
should.
He's
a male version of Caroline Wozniacki.
Yeah, you should watch that. That is like such an obvious differential. Like the quality of the shot is not even.
Hey, Sarah Ronnie won a tournament with that wacky ass serve she has, so anything's possible.
She was playing Barbara, okay?
It's
Barbara is not gonna tee off and do a shot, okay?
Well,
it's just starting the point. It's just starting the point.
Let's talk about the real highlight.
Mm-hmm.
The real highlight for me, I have to say, congrats to Nicholas Kyrgios winning your first title in your second ATP main draw final. And you really put a hurt.
I put a hurt
on Marin Cilic, Janina.
You put a hurt on the whole damn draw.
That was great.
It was
fabulous.
That title was no fluke.
No,
that's how you handle someone who's injured, Dustin Brown. That's how you handle someone. Okay? Take notes, okay? Dustin, take notes. I know you're listening. I know you're listening to Reels. You get all the tea from Reels, Dustin.
Oh, man, that was great.
You know what?
Oh, my God.
But he got some solid wins coming through there.
I mean, he's moving so much better. I don't appreciate that sports bra he's wearing underneath that armless. But you know what? I mean, like, look, I can't get, it can't be all my way. It can't all be real.
Oh, no.
Okay, he seemed dialed in. He seemed focused. There is a clarity as to what he wants to do. I mean, a lot of the time, it's something I think goes on to player of color, no matter whatever it is, that they don't think on court. They're just like a natural ability.
Hitting boys.
That's true. And aggressive. But I really think people can be like, no, like he's showing everything that he's capable of doing. All of the shots, I think he's fitter though. I think that, or maybe that sports bra is slimming him down, making him a sleek look. That sports bra gotta go, boo.
He looks the same to me. He doesn't look fitter.
So much better. And Marin Cilic is not a lazy person. He's a good mover. And I'm telling you.
Here's the thing, though. Kyrgios has a complete game. He really does. He has a very well-rounded game, and he was just all over Cilic. It was nice to watch because it was competitive. Marin didn't play shit tennis at all. No. He played well.
In fact, better than he normally plays. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was good tennis from both of them. But man, Nick was just dialed in like
to serve.
Not today, bro. Not
that
today.
first set, Cilic lucky didn't get bageled because Kyrgios had a break point in every single service game of Cilic. Every single service break, not just one. I think he had at least 2 in every single service game. Cilic got lucky, and I mean, like, Kyrgios was moving him around well. I mean, like, he was getting the loopy balls and he was attacking the net. As a matter of fact, commentators, please, for God's sake, stop calling it the saber, okay? The sneak attack by Roger. Roger did not invent this shit, okay? He didn't invent it, okay? So they were, even the French commentators was like, oh, the sneak attack by Roger. No, okay? This is the fuck you do with a bullshit second serve. You come in and take that shit on the run, okay? It's what everybody should be doing. Roger didn't invent this shit, okay? Please stop.
He did for this generation because nobody has ever done it before. So that's why. That's why it's called that. Because everybody says stays back and hits the ball and go, hey, let's just keep on rallying. That's what we're
right.
Well, okay. Let's qualify this hand. It can't be sneak attack by Roger if Roger ain't playing, okay? And he ain't one, okay? It can't be that, okay?
But you know what I like? I will say, let's as a point of contrast between how Nick was able to manage his emotions on the court and actually succeed in doing what he needed versus what we saw happen to poor Monfils last week.
Right?
Do you know what I mean?
Monfils, 2 weeks ago. Note.
Take note. You could still be self-contained and still use your weapons because Nick did exactly that.
But he had many of unself-contained moments, which was why so fun to watch him. I was like, you know what, this is great because the truth is, he is playing great tennis and he is doing his thing, and yet somehow you are still managing to run your mouth and stay focused. And I was loving it,
I think he told himself, like, well, I'm playing the better tennis out here anyway. Monfils doesn't seem to always be sure of who's playing the better tennis. I think that's right. It's like. Because, I mean, a very, very interesting story. So when Monfils played Roger Federer in 2014, and he had Roger on the ropes, Monfils did not know the score.
That's always wise.
Didn't know what the score was. He literally asked the umpire, what is the score?
Yeah.
Like, he was totally confused. It was as if he were in some zone. And in this zone, he couldn't recognize what was happening on the court. That, and it's a moment you talk about, Andreen, we mention this all the time, it's like that other player not being able to be aware of what's going on, the other player is injured, and, you're clearly, it's your day, you know what I mean? And then you forget what was working for you. I mean, I think Nick realized all of those things. I was just like, I'm playing a better tennis all day. Because even when he got into a spotter in the second set, where Cilic served first in the second set, he faced 2 set points.
Yeah.
And I think he had a query about one of the gate points, and then he double faulted at one point.
Yeah, and you kind of expected him to go off the rails there.
Yeah, and he was just like, fuck that shit. I am not playing a third set. Boom, 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 2 aces.
Yep, I
know. And his second serve was, as a matter of fact, I think he lost, 2 points at 4 points at second serve.
Points on serve. But, that's what I like it. I like it when that happens. I like it when I look, because the thing is, that their best is better than your best. And when you don't mess yourself up by getting crazy and ranting and just losing your way, you can just show up and say, hey, I'm taking this title, winning straight sets. Thanks.
Boop. Right?
And calm yourself down. If anything goes on.
I like that.
Congratulations, Nicholas, for winning your first title. But you know what? Twitter, you failed. You failed. Let me just tell you something.
Why did tennis Twitter fail you, Janina?
Because Kyrgios, for whatever reason that we will never know, didn't jump up and down and smile and cry and just look like he was elated. He failed, according to Twitter. And I thought, how dare you? You have no idea what this man is feeling. For all you know, he is trying to, maybe hold back tears. Maybe he doesn't want to cry, and he's trying to show no emotion because he knows he's going to lose it any second. Or maybe he just doesn't, it is not up for, I'm not even going to say us because I'm not part of it because I didn't really care. But it isn't up for you to decide how someone reacts when they win or lose. You don't get to do that. I only get to do that when it's Novak and he rips his
I was just about to call you on that.
That's the only time it's acceptable.
She showed us the receipt this time around. She showed us the receipt.
But I mean,
we couldn't even grab you.
All I saw all over my Twitter was, why isn't he smiling? Why is he acting like that? And I just thought,
the more important question for me was
that's what I'm thinking. Stan Wawrinka is like the least emotional person ever, and he always looks like but you don't see the timelines going crazy over how they are or are not reacting to certain situations. So why was it like that today? Someone enlighten me.
What they failed to notice was that Cilic was giving Nick some daggers. Cilic was fucking pissed at himself.
Oh my God! When did this Cilic arrive? Cilic having emotions on court is really strange and new for me.
He's not having. He was not having because Cilic really showed up in that final thinking he had a chance. Like this was his.
He's a Grand Slam finalist. He's a Grand Slam titleist. Why not?
He probably felt like I should win this match, and you know what? He probably should have. If we're just going to look at careers.
Not really. Not really.
No.
No. I was being nice.
I mean that in the nicest way. But if you think about who's actually got the weapons.
Right,
Nick should actually realistically win that match.
I hope, Nick, I hope this isn't just a flash in the pan. I really hope to see.
Or you know what, flash in the pan this month. I'm gonna let you be you. If you don't do anything next week, it's fine. You can have because that's how tennis is for people at that age. They have a really really great breakout tournament, and then they kind of dip a little bit, and then they come back.
I guess that's true. Dominic team looking at you.
No, I mean so it's like what? We're not gonna. Let's remember, we were all screwed by consistency in the top guys.
I was about to say that. This was the tip. This is typical tennis world.
Yeah.
We have been false belief that you're supposed to show up week in week out and be there every given Sunday, and that's not the case.
Yep.
This was not the career of Agassi, Lendl, and all these people, and Sampras. They lost sometimes early too, particularly on clay.
Yeah.
So, the clay was the South American and the European, and then the hard could show up, and then, the odd European would win, those who were like a Villander. But then it was the American who were running the hard code show, and Michael Chang. But, I have to say the other thing, too, in regards to Nick, I think the impression that I got from Nick from in person and whatever, he's a very social animal.
Yeah.
And, celebrating, I think he would be the kind of person who celebrate. He can't wait to be with his boo-boo, Tanasi Kokinakas. And,
God.
Oh, shit.
The racism. I think he's, when he plays doubles, he's much more social, and he's much more sort of a big brother type. So I imagine that when he's around his friends, he's much more alive and whatever. But winning on him by himself is just like, you know what? I expected this. That's just what I saw from him. I came here playing the better tennis of the entire week, and this is what I'm expected to do.
You know what it is? I think he has been attacked so much that he doesn't know how to respond to things anymore because everything he does is under a microscope. So I think he's probably trying to keep everything really contained. And he doesn't know how, so it comes off as looking like, I don't care. Yeah, I just won a title. It's no big deal.
Nicholas, tweet Realz tennis fans, okay, at Realz, and I'll tell you how to behave. And I will handle the motherfuckers.
Honestly,
Chris, you can have a seat,
don't even care. Just
Chris,
take
you can
the
have
title.
a seat.
Take the title.
Just take the title. Take the title. Smile and have a good time, and then be done with it. I don't really give a crap about.
I don't think this was a fluke, though. I think this was the start of something really, really fun.
I really hope so. I really hope because he's fun to watch. He's really, really fun to watch. I really enjoyed his tennis. I know some people were on the timeline saying, "Watch out, Quavo's getting some fans out of coming out of the dark." But you know what? I did enjoy some of Quavo's shot. I really did. And no slight to Divadal, but you know, I
Well,
thought
I'm
Quavo's
actually
played some
really
really good
enjoying
ball.
it. Like this is full confession time, but I'm about to start enjoying clay court tennis again.
Oh my God! And I was about to say, Quavers was moving so beautifully on the
I was
clay,
like,
like
I
a
see
dancer.
why. I
The
know. I was like, I
slides
see
were
why
really
people
amazing.
like it.
Oh God.
Maybe this has always
Oh,
been
I forgot.
problematic. Sorry,
Janine hated
maybe it's problematic for me, but I've just never enjoyed Rafa's tennis, and so now I can actually really legitimately come to clay and just
Fucking
enjoy
hate
watching
clay.
it. I mean, like I was enjoying these men on tennis on clay this week. I mean, and it was nice that they were South American, Latin American boys. I mean, doing their thing. This is their surface. This is the
And this
surface
is where
that
they
many
make
of us
money.
grew
This is
up
their
on.
money.
Yes,
Exactly.
and I was like, Rafa, get
Fucking
out of the
Divadal and
way.
Ferrer showing up trying to take their shit.
Yes, get out of
You
the
know?
way.
You see how they handled you see how they handled Sangha
They're
and
like, Saka, go back indoors,
Team
bro.
and even John Isner. They didn't do this in your shit, okay?
You did
When we
not just say even John Isner. Come on.
John Isner did not show up there for the appearance fee. Nobody is paying no guy for showing up. He was trying to collect some points. He was trying to collect some points in South America, but
I
his
know.
ass got handled.
But what else has happened?
Well,
Were those the noteworthy results for
Yes.
the week?
Congrats,
titles
Quavers,
everywhere.
Yes. 500 points. You're now in the top 32. If French Open were happening tomorrow, you are seeded.
Oh man, and these are
God.
people with titles. Federer doesn't have a title this year, but look at the people who have titles. That's how it works.
That is so unfair, Andreen.
What?
He hasn't fucking played. That's unfair.
He was in the finals of Brisbane, okay?
Anyway. All right.
Federer.
So,
Anyway, Federer is in Carnival in Basel Zurich.
yeah, he's living it up. He doesn't.
Carnival.
He's probably out there like, fuck this. I ain't coming back. I'm just gonna travel and go to parties.
Poor people.
Yeah, until America said, "Bitch, you have a curfew at 5 o'clock. The kids come home from school. You're asking to be home." Okay.
Great.
You need to take care of your kids. But so what else happened in the world of tennis, ladies and ladies?
So, yeah,
Janina, we know you got notes again this week. I'm telling you, people. Look, ATP, you need to hire Janina, okay? She is on this. If you want a real independent report and not an independent-ish, Janina, our foreign correspondent, we would let you borrow her if we get some tickets.
Borrow me.
And hotel accommodation.
I didn't realize that I was for lease, but hey, pay well enough, and yeah, you can borrow me.
Well, I'm borrowing quotation mark. You can have her.
You know, keeping up with, because we're not going to allow this whole match fixing scandal and lack of investigation die down. We're not going to do it. What happened this past week? What happened? Okay, so there was a report that came out from who was it? Who are they? The European. Oh crap! I don't know. ESSA. That's who it is, and I can't think of what it stands for. Some kind of European sporting something agency report. What they do basically is they watch over sports and they find suspicious matches, games, whatever, any sport, not just tennis. So their fourth quarter report from 2015 came out. And it was interesting. The biggest thing that needs to be taken away from that is there was 100 sporting events that were flagged as being possibly suspicious due to betting patterns. Of those 100 in their fourth quarter reports, 69% of those belong to tennis. And just for a little perspective, the second ranked sport was football, soccer, at only 8%. The number breakdown was like 73 of them were tennis matches and 8 of them were soccer matches. So
19, 73 and 19, followed by football at 19.
Yeah. So
it is called the ESSA. Sorry, it's the Sports Betting Integrity is widely recognized to contribute to the licensed betting. It's European Union.
The European Sport Security Association, that's what it is.
Yeah, and it has all of the typical ones like Ladbrokes, Bet 335, 365 Bet at Home. All of the major betting, I think, organizations are part of it.
And we need to understand that what they do when they find something that looks suspicious, they hand this information over to the regulating bodies of whatever sport that is. So it's not like they find it and here it is. They are saying, here's the information. This is what we find. For the only thing we don't know is how they come up with their data, which would be interesting because Andreen and I had a conversation about this. And yes, why don't you go ahead and explain, where you're coming from that, Andreen? Why it matters.
Before you continue, I just want to add that even in the second quarter, tennis dominated suspicious betting alert.
Well, yeah, it dominated all year. That's the thing. Yeah. It said the report did say that this was consistent for what we have found throughout all of 2015. It's not like this fourth quarter was, really high and it was unusual. It wasn't unusual. This was very typical.
This is the trend. Now, the thing about it is when they're doing a report, and they're telling us that there are 100 suspicious cases. The important thing for us to understand is 100 suspicious cases out of how many, right? Like out of how many bets are there suspicious cases? Like if you're betting, if we're seeing 1,000 bets and 100 are suspicious, okay, that's noteworthy. That's a big deal. That's like what, 10% of the bets? Now I just saw someone float a number around and I couldn't get confirmation of it, but according to someone that was sort of responding to this report, there were 25,000 tennis bets. So out of 25,000 tennis bets, to have 100 be sort of like flagged, that's not a significant number. However, it's significant if maybe it's the same core group of people doing it, right? Because then what your job is to then remove that core group, and then you might then the significance of sort of match fixing drops tremendously because So that was my question: is when they're doing these reporting, they need to give us some context for us to react to the 100. Even though ultimately the fact that it's tennis, that's the like far and above everybody else, clearly means that tennis has a problem because hey, people are doing things dodgy in tennis per se.
That people clearly see.
Yeah. And without even having confirmation. Without even having confirmation of exactly how it works or knowing how they collect their data, it probably is a small number in comparison to where it comes from because I highly doubt that they say you can bet here but you can't bet here. And there are tens of thousands of matches that are played every year. Why wouldn't they have the ability to, bet on each and every one of them?
Yeah, so you got to give us some context for that 100.
Yeah. It probably is 20-something thousand, but again, like you just said, tennis stands out amongst all other sports in the world that people are betting on.
Yeah, it's like 0.4% of it. And even if it's 0.4%, the fact that, say, there are 20,000, say football was the same thing. Say football had 25,000 bet. The fact that only 19 of theirs is dodgy, that's startling. So tennis is like what, 4 times as much?
Right.
I just want to tell you, but this is I'm reading the Q2 integrity report, and it says something rather interesting. It said overall during the second quarter of 2015, ESSA members raised 73 alerts, of which after detailed examination. So they get these alerts and then they do their own investigation within it. 23 were found to be suspicious and were reported to the relevant regulatory body for further investigation. Of these 23, tennis had 19 and football 4.
Yeah.
And that's for 23.
So that's significant. That is significant. Absolutely.
So it isn't just like, oh, the betting companies are saying, oh, we find this to be suspicious. Yeah, let's send it over to. So tennis isn't bombarded by every little granny calling up and being like, oh my God, I saw something crazy here. No. It's literally like
the numbers are
they're doing investigation. Exactly, they're doing investigation. The integrity body is doing investigation within itself and saying, look, we can account for the other because of the 73 alone. The 50 we can account for why the other 50 were kind of weird, but these 23, no, there is something wrong here. I'd be surprised to find out how much of these 73 though are actually tennis altogether anyway. But still,
could we finally get over the idea though, Realz, of where this is happening? Because the big quick dismissal is always, oh, this is happening at the futures level, but they never actually also identify the cases and where the cases are taking place. Like, we know where they are taking place in terms of countries. So we know they're taking. First of all, that's the other thing to note, is that they're taking place all over the place. They're happening in Europe. They're happening in Asia, and they're happening. So it's not, and they're happening in North America, South America. So it's not as one of the quick excuses.
It's too random. It's very random, but it's too. But it's too
everywhere.
Random to be random.
And also,
it's very organized.
But I also want to make the point, though. What I wanted to make the point about the fact about geography is that one of the claims that were made is that that basically it's happening in countries with dubious value systems. Right. So let's dismiss that as an idea, because
especially because where there was a breakdown of the numbers of where everything happened, and honestly, I mean, North America.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's happening everywhere. 5 in the U.S.
But here's my other question I wanna add to this. Because of the numbers, if you look at the numbers, right, like 19 in the second quarter, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, tennis. This can literally be 2-3 people doing all of this 19.
Yeah, and so why wouldn't you be able to investigate that and come to some conclusion and issue a report? See, for me, like, for example, if you take this report, right, in terms of like letting people know what's going on. If you identify suspicious bets that are happening in a particular quarter, and then you generate a report, you don't even have to go all out and tell me exactly what you did. You could say, we were alerted that there were 23 cases in the second quarter that were problematic. We explored all 20 and found 5 were really egregious examples, and punishments have been doled out accordingly. Even minimally saying something like that would suggest a little bit of like transparency.
We're not getting there. No? Yeah, no, I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough. I think that's more than what we're getting. So that's almost acceptable to ask for that, but I don't think it's enough, because at the end of the day, even the players are saying, tell me what's going on. Tell me who's involved. Punish the people who are involved. You know, it doesn't do the sport any good to give someone a slap on the wrist and say stop.
Well,
they need to be publicly shamed. Seriously.
But the tennis integrity unit punished someone this week.
Bullshit. No, they didn't.
They surely did.
Yeah, they did. They say they did. A futures level person that they.
Correction. He couldn't even get on the future. He's not even ranked. My real question is, how the fuck did you find him?
Yeah.
How did you find him?
You need a better scapegoat.
He just literally. I'm sure he just literally filled out the ATP card saying, ATP, I want to be part of your crew.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, he find out some stupid bet he was probably making with a friend. You know, like they were playing at some country club, joking around.
I mean, come on.
He fell on someone's radar.
I mean, this is how they even, like, he's not even an ATP rated. He's not ranked. He has less than 0 points. Did he pay his membership dues? Did he?
No, he did not. Well, this is what we know. This is what. So that came out. That report came out earlier this week. Mm-hmm. What we have to look forward to, if we can look forward to it, because will we find anything out? Who knows? This upcoming Wednesday, the members of Parliament are doing their promised investigation. It is beginning. And they are going to be interviewing, we can call it, Chris Kermode, the executive chairman of the ATP, Nigel Willerton, the head of the Tennis Integrity Unit, and Mark Young, who is an attorney or part of the legal department from the ATP. So they will be questioned this week about all of this.
I wonder what will be public. I wonder what element of it will be public.
I don't know. But honestly, the way that I see it,
you best not, Chris Kermode, you best not say Andy Murray versus Novak Djokovic 2013 Wimbledon or some fucked up shit. Because I am telling you, Christopher, I'm telling you, ATP will be in shambles by next week.
Don't you dare.
Well,
before
go ahead, Chris. This happens,
you better your little man, your QC, Adam Lewis, I think his name is. He better not come with some bullshit like he kissed the boy and the boy got drugged. No. You better come up with some legit shit, okay? Some legit shit.
Chris Kermode says that there's not a problem.
You put any asterisk on Wimbledon and anywhere near the top, Wimbledon still have to deal with this what's that plagiarizer name? They're still dealing with that shit, trying to
Neil
move that shit over. I'm telling you.
So that's where we are with it. So
that's where we are.
So next week we should know more, right? We should know more from the Wednesday.
We hope to know more, if they decide to tell us anything, because we know that this...
Somebody would tell us. Somebody's got
to tell us. Somebody's got to tell us.
They would leak some report or something. Because they have to... The thing about it, they can't keep this being secret. And that's the thing I love about this whole incident, that they cannot continue to operate in secrecy. Because now the cat is out of the bag. We know y'all are doing secret bans, and apparently secret and silent bans not effective because y'all don't even tell the motherfucker he's banned, and even have a system to keep him banned. Okay?
So apparently they actually can't operate in secret because nobody knows what's going on.
Exactly. Because so I have a question though. If this guy is secretly bad and he still continue to work, does this mean that his band is still in his band? Like he'd be like, I could start work next week because my band is already over, okay? Because I'm still.
So I want to ask, to sort of end this stuff. We read, there was a piece from Inside Tennis written by Bill Simmons, and he proposed a 10-point plan to really get ahead of tennis match fixing.
Yes.
And we can probably link you to the article. I don't know if we want to go through all 10, but I thought one of his points was really interesting. And I think it was point number 8, which said, forget the too big to fail or the too hard to deal with. Essentially suggesting that tennis match fiction is not stuck at the lower tier.
Right.
That realistically some of the big names may be involved and you might have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And let that be known.
There was another point that I really liked, and it was about using technology. Use every resource that is available. Scrub the data, study every match that's played. We see before, especially during Grand Slam matches, we see, because IBM is, such a huge part of tennis now, we see that if this player gets this many first serves in, they've got this percentage of winning the set. And you know what? They're almost always right. They do it at the beginning of a match, they go back to it during the match and at the end, and it's almost always right. So we know that this stuff works. That's why I bring that up, so that we have something to, some perspective. But he suggested use this technology, use the advanced analytics to detect these patterns, and go for the bad guys who are the syndicate gamblers. However, I agree with that 100%. But I think it's worth mentioning that when somebody in Russia who was a big-time sports guy and all the crap that's going on there, he just showed up dead. He just showed up dead. It's a big deal.
Maybe it's dodgier than you want to get in. Well, the one thing I did think was really, I thought another point, he had several points, and we'll link to the article so that you can go and look at it yourself and see what you think. But I thought one of the more important elements to it was the notion of like a truth and reconciliation component.
Yeah.
Which is, but that's not even, but that was already there during the 2007 incident. The 2007 incident did have a kind of, you come and tell us what you know and you will not suffer the consequences. That supposedly happened.
Yeah.
And that was supposedly not just with the hotline. Supposedly in general with the investigation of the case around the one that BuzzFeed
and Davydenko
and all of those other pieces. There was supposedly this element that said anything that you confess to us from this point, it's forgivable.
Yeah, right. Because they said
there was supposed to be that.
Yeah, because they legally
made everything
what I thought was really hilarious was that they went back and checked themselves and said, "Oh, I don't think legally we can do this." Even though they want, when they could. Yeah. And your point about the technology, I think ATP is well aware of the technology that's there. There is money.
Yeah,
there.
They are. So use it.
They have the information, and I think they have all the data within there. I think, trust me, there is no doubt in my mind that whoever is match fixing, ATP knows exactly who you are.
They are, yeah.
Of course they
are. However, when they're trying to feed us some bullshit, they're giving us some. It's like that thing when like your teacher tells you to print out your report, and that a fancy computer, and you decide to, I'm gonna go to the Jet Center, and print it. Like. I gotta pull out the old typewriter, like click, 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 ching.
Right.
Like I did it on a typewriter, teacher, I need extra time, like they decide to just give us some archaic bullshit, like some, like in the dark ages, something that.
Yeah,
trust me.
Let's punish a player that no one's ever even heard of.
Tennis is trying to maintain a sort of a I don't know, the good old boys club, and keeping the money within the certain thing is too much in bed. I mean, the only thing going to the list, I don't think there is a problem in and of itself with them being in bed with the betting houses.
I don't think so either. I feel like that's
the fact of the matter is that the betting houses are telling you that this is the problem because it affects them, the betting houses, because tennis is so unpredictable. It's good for betting houses that tennis is the way it is. And I don't think they are the problem because the betting that's occurring, it isn't occurring. It is occurring through the betting agencies, but it's from outside elements affecting the betting agency odds. So I don't think, but I do agree that they need more money. That scrubs should be making more money. That if I see a tennis player and I want to go out with him, he shouldn't be checking his wallet and calling up his bank for the balance. Okay, if I see not Rajeev Ram. But Sam, like when Sam takes me to dinner, Sam shouldn't be telling me some shit about Red Lobster. I don't care about bullshit. No one's taking my ass to Red Lobster, okay?
Well, I mean,
we're not going to Red Lobster.
I think we have to figure out how to do the same thing that other sports do, which is like the top 100 are the only ones in tennis that are able to have like a livable wage in some ways. So there has to be some way to fix it so that people have a livable wage at whatever tier they are at,
right.
Which supposedly will fix the match fixing. I don't really believe that because I think illegal things happen at the very highest level of cash. So I don't like that. To me, I mean, I think it's nice. I think it looks better so that you can stop blaming that tier that they're the ones that are messing up. But I really don't think it has to do with the fact that this person can't feed themselves. And no, I mean, I just don't buy that. I think
someone pointed out Martha Stewart went to jail.
Yeah, so it's like
getting like $800,000 extra money. So.
Yeah, so I think it's like
that shit.
Yeah, like I just don't really believe that it's like the person who's struggling at the very bottom, who's not able to make any money, and somebody comes to them and says, "Here's a chance to make $20,000 instead of the $5,000 that you're making." I mean, yes, of course that's really compelling, but I still think somebody who's making $100,000 can also be convinced to make $300,000.
Because it's tax-free
it is what it
money.
Is. So.
Exactly.
Tax-free money.
Exactly.
And like I pointed out to you, if Roberta Vinci shows up in a Lamborghini, no one would really think question because she's a tennis player, and everyone imagined that tennis player always has money. We always imagined it to be a rich player.
I don't.
It's like a
I don't
football
anymore.
player.
I don't.
I mean,
they've
right,
done a really good job with the PR
because we know better.
Nobody has money.
We know better generally. I mean, like, we can just like Rajeev Ram show up with a Lamborghini, be like, boo, where you got that fucking money from? No. How much money you get on Challenger? $4,000, boo. You can't even afford the door.
A new coffee maker.
Exactly.
So I mean,
have you been to Macy's? Is there a sale at Macy's, boo? No.
So besides the serious stuff, what else is any other tennis news before we now enter which part of the season? We're almost getting serious. The big folks are coming back.
Yeah, big folks are coming. The big men are coming back, I would say.
Yeah, and Novak,
the big man. There's only one man on ATP tour right about now.
I didn't get a chance to look at the draw. Who is Novak Djokovic slated to meet in the final?
Come on.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know. Who's the semis, the projected semis for Dubai? I didn't look.
I have no idea. I have not looked at the draw.
Okay.
Not a clue.
Y'all making me go back on.
You look at that, and I'm going to tell you about this.
Novak is facing Tommy Robredo in the first round.
Oh,
and then he faces qualifier Mikhail Yuzny, who's had a bit of a hot streak playing challenger, and
I'm gonna make a full confession.
Stanley is number 2 seed.
Oh, okay, so he's slated to meet Stan in the final if all goes well.
And my thing is messed up. Who's the number 3 seed? Berdych, and yes, and you know who's the number 7 seed?
Who?
Martin Klizan.
And I think the number 4 seed is Cilic.
No, Augusta. RBA.
Yes, RBA. Yes.
I don't think Cilic is playing actually.
No, Cilic I think is in Acapulco. But so what
this motherfucker is flying from Marseilles to Acapulco.
Can I tell you, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm making an active choice this week. This week I'm going to say goodbye to Dubai. I usually but I'm actually going to pay attention to Acapulco this week. This is going to be my thing. Acapulco seems like it has a good group.
Okay.
Guess who Stanley's playing in the first round?
Who? Benoit?
Sergey. No, Benoit took a plane from Marseille and got his ass to Sao Paulo, Brazil. He's trying to get knocked. He's trying to win the Olympics. He's gonna get that Zika virus in and out. Get acclimatized. Okay?
So he does Stan start with Stakowski again?
Yes.
It's like
but there's no buy because there's no buy in this 500 event. And then he has potentially Gabashvili in the second round, and potentially in the third round could be Kohlschreiber, and then Berdych in the quarterfinals. It's gonna be tough shit for Stanley. he better not come looking all rusty because he's gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Well, this should be his on week, right? He should be all right.
And Novak. I mean, seriously,
Novak is out there swimming, talking about "I know you missed me."
Ain't nobody troubling Nole right about now. But no, sorry. Stanley faces Berdych in the semifinals, if they do get there. We do have anything later because we do have a comment. I just want to say I'm loving fans. I really love the fact that you're giving us comments this week, and but this is a late comment that just literally went up from Nectar737. Unfortunately, I just got around to listening to this. It was great as always. Thank you. But we appreciate hearing it from you. That's why, like in Snow White, this evil stepmother, she just didn't want to tell herself she's beautiful. She wanted the mirror to tell her this. It's always lovely when we're good and we appreciate it. First off, what's up with Jonathan playing on the clay? Boo trying to make some extra money. I just gotta let you know that.
John says that's his favorite surface. Don't forget that. He loves it on the clay.
But you know what? It seemed like a good idea. You know what? Because he was not. The Americans always supposedly have a problem with Europe. So you go down south. It's a quick commute back when you're doing Indian Wells. It probably seemed like a really smart idea.
Some sex.
You know, and
in Rio and happens in Buenos Aires, stays in Buenos Aires. I
mean, it was an ill-fated trip because nothing happened there. He lost some first round.
Well, Nectar737 had something to say. He said, "You should be. It's not. It's like, dude, you're not that good on clay. You should be playing in those small U.S. tourneys, losing the semis or finals. Instead, he's letting his buddy Sam Querrey win. I agree. I was not ready for that one.
Well, see, he should have shown up in Delray. He could have gotten through that field. So
I know, right? Especially Delpo backhand would not be. Isla would not be fucking around with that Delpo no backhand business. He would have been all over that shit. Anyway, he has something to say about the. Oh my God! Did he write Divadal? He did write Divadal.
Oh, you are rubbing off on people.
This is not me, people. I did not type this. Okay, I think Divadal is done. He will not win another slam. Losing to Paulo. It's the same difference. Cuevas and Clay. Seriously, clearly, Nadal has no confidence, and I think it's time for Uncle Tony to take a hike. Wow. And he added some information we added. He said, I like Taylor Fritz a lot. I think he could be the next big thing in the U.S., like you guys said. We'll see how it goes, but hopefully the media doesn't overhype him too much and ruin him. As far as the Nicole Raddick stuff, for real, I was really expecting to hear a lot of people comment on this shit. He said, I have no clue what she's doing, but to each their own. Clearly there's something about Raddick that the hot women like. Andreen, you mind caring too. You trying to tell us about this turtleneck and all this business, but we didn't get it. Nectar didn't get it, so.
Fine.
Nicole Vita Silva, if you're out there in into Twitter land, come on the show and let us know what it is. What is the voodoo that Raddick do to you? Okay? We will be taking notes, okay? You know what, girl? Here's a way of making some money. Ugly man, this is how you get hot chicks. Anyway, speaking of hot women, two of my faves, Donna Vekic, I don't think she's that cute. I'm sorry. And Jeannie Bouchard, I think she's cute. One today on the same day. It's true.
Who said that?
Donna Vekic double.
Are you still commenting on the? Are you still using the person's
Nectar.
comment?
Look, I love essays. I love essays. I love it. Because people really listen. I mean, we're a strong cup of tea, okay? And people just said it was nice. I don't really appreciate that because I know it's nice. Tell me why it's nice. Don't tell me I'm
okay, keep going. Sorry, keep going.
Anyway, Donna Vekic and Jeannie Bouchard won today on the same day. Not sure when that last happened, but it's a good day. I will enjoy it while I can since Maria doesn't want to play. She's on the Fed schedule.
Oh, jeez.
The Fed schedule. Maria, you you're getting called out. Do you have a knee injury, Maria? What's your story, okay?
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Donna Vekic DV, as he liked to call her, Nectar is calling her. I don't know if you're him or her, but I'm going to say him because I'm a guy too. DV even had a double bagel against the scrubs she played. Women are not scrubs, people. Women are wenches. Men are scrubs, okay? Don't get it twisted. Both men and women are vultures. Vulture is a common noun, okay? But scrub, it's a male, and wench is a woman, okay? But anyway, I will forgive you, Nectar, okay? The scrub she played. Actually, I'm sure this girl just got a wild card because she was somebody from the local tournament somewhere around there. Because I've never heard of this girl. And for you to come on and let Donna Vekic double bagel you,
never.
Girl,
you can never live that down.
I don't know
Nobody
what's
should
wrong
be
with
double
your
bageled.
I'm telling you.
Nobody should be double bageled by Vekic.
By Donna Vekic. But here's a little tidbit that you may not know because I certainly didn't know this. Maybe it was those roses Stan sent her for Valentine's on her Instagram.
Oh, boy.
Let me find out. Donna, that is so common. Your man sent me some roses. You put it on Instagram like you 12 or
Okay.
You are a teenager. Okay. I forgot that bit. I'm sorry. My bad, girl.
Oh, my God.
Working some kind of magic on her game now. I'm sure she will get crushed by CSN Carla Suarez of our next round. I'm not so sure about that. Carla be kind of hot messy.
No. Carla knows. Carla knows not to lose to Donna Vekic. Okay. Let's be honest.
Okay. And Hidrel announced she responded and just mentioned that she wasn't trying to hate on Serena, but she just felt like that Serena could do so. And she said Serena has faced a lot of adversity and maybe she may be being a little bit too hard on Serena. Yeah. And Hidrel also mentioned firstly, thank you for the clean audio. or getting a new mic. Thank you, Hydra.
You forgot the most important part.
I did.
Yeah.
When are we gonna get a sponsor? Who's sponsoring us out there? Is that what it is?
No, you owe Hadriel an apology because you kept calling her a he.
Oh, it's a she.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh, see?
Okay.
No, I love.
So that's that.
Hadriel, I'm sorry.
Thank
man.
you. I love it. I love it when we get.
Thank
you know
you.
what? I want.
I love the essays. I love the essays.
I love it.
The essays.
I want you to always pick the longest essay response, and let's have it at the end of the podcast. That's great.
Yeah. See, so fans, you will get a shout out if you put something on the comment page. Okay. That's how it works. We enjoyed it.
We're looking forward to it.
I do love it, But you want to get a real big shout out, Get on the YouTube page, even though you listen to it on Podbean, get on the YouTube page and write a little essay because we'll read every bit of it out. We would. Okay. Anyway, ladies, anything else before we go? I
think that's it.
Andreen, you're looking forward to Acapulco, and guess who's there for your enjoyment? Sloane Stephens is the number 2 seed, and Azarenka is also there.
Yeah, I think Acapulco is, you know what? Usually Dubai really freezes out Acapulco, but I feel like the draw in Acapulco is great, and the fact that it's a joint event, it's going to be even more fun.
These winches are trying to vulture. Good on you, Vicky, because Azarenka, you'll be trying to show up at these big events thinking you're gonna win it, but gotta try to vulture. Handle these winches. And then get yourself.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. So.
Yes, and guess what, Andreen? Just for your enjoyment, Benoit Paire is in Sao Paulo, so you can watch that too if you're not watching Dubai. Oh, and someone pointed out to me, which is probably interesting. I think someone on Twitter or probably on YouTube. I believe it was YouTube. They said if Joker wins Dubai, when he wins Dubai, he's gonna have like a ridiculous amount of points because he lost the final 17,000, which means
which is why I'm not even paying attention to number 1 player. I just focus on the number 5 and below. Yeah. That's where all the action is. So that's
where the real fight is.
That's where the battle is.
Exactly.
Thank
Everybody's
you so
coming
much.
for without a few strands of hair.
Good luck. Listen, good luck to Djokovic. I think he's going to be great. I think he'll capture Dubai and have a really great time. But my eyes are going to be focused on competitive tennis this week. So.
And Acapulco. Is Ferrer showing up there? Is Ferrer there? I'm not sure.
He usually is, but I don't know if he's there this year or not.
Anywho. Is that
Anyways, ciao, ciao.
Good night. Right. Thank you. We had a lovely show this evening. And as always, we sound sexy on the microphone, so don't forget. Good night. Okay. And don't forget, don't listen to us on the treadmill. Good night.
Bye.